That's Isela Hernandez, who's group stalking in the path with flying over my office by helicopter again. This is about the 11th or 12th time today. Remember, when I was at my apartment, they were flying over me at my apartment while I'm reminding you about the light source at 12:57 p.m. while I'm at Starbucks at 706 West Hope Boulevard. That's why they are targeting the location where I'm at. And you also know that by the source, which is over me at building 1810, which is, again, it is currently 3:51 p.m. Isela Hernandez, Roberto Aguilera are exemplifying for you why they are all going to federal prison here. This is the criminal maintenance of presence in the path, which is what is group stalking. And what I want to remind you about is the entity is maintaining the light source, and this is exactly what the LAPD were doing this morning at 10:30 when you saw the light source hovering over me. And I want you to make sure that you pay close attention to what was criminal summoning, not only at what was 706 West Hope Boulevard, as I documented on in September of 2021. That's Impossible Light. He's going to federal prison. Let me get this license plate real quick. Impossible Light, just like Luis Ramos did. Look at the screenshots. License 7C05428. That's a demon engaged in criminal monitoring, group stalking, using a minor to cross the path, doing so engaging in terrorism with LAPD. Isela and Roberto are going to federal prison, and those children are going to be taken from their custody. And while LAPD is engaging in group stalking with the people of the state, everybody here is going to federal prison at 10:30. While you saw that light source over me, I'm reminding you about what is criminal summoning at venues that are heavily documented from the beginning to the end of the day, keeping the light source, which is a specific environment, which is why it's happening here, and it's impossible that that's ever the natural environment. You have what is the entity engaging in what is that same pattern of conduct, which is maintaining that light source at the Ovid Family Community Library, which I reminded you again today. Look at the evidence of what I uploaded to the P.O.C. folder where I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street in Ontario from 8 o'clock in the morning, before 8 o'clock in the morning until after 6 p.m. And you're looking at what is impossible to ever be the natural environment, to remain over one building, visible through the doors, hovering low enough to be seen through the doors, and the entity is engaging in that same exact demonic behavioral pattern. You're looking at all methods of what is engineered light, and they just walk all the way and through it. And you're looking at Starbucks, they're engaging that same demonic behavioral pattern. They are engaging in what is vacillating light, engineered light moving all across the walls and the ceilings. This is the pattern of conduct that's occurring in public places. Those are third-party facilitating venues. It is the identical behavioral pattern, that which is done in concert with the state. And that's exactly what's happening at an apartment complex. Everybody here is going to federal prison because of that systematic engagement and what is criminal surveillance with the state. That's again flying over by helicopter. And what you're going to see, which I'm going to upload, because at 10:30 while LAPD was stalking here in the specific environment, this is speaking to what is during daylight savings time. You're going to remember what is already published, the kidnapping by the Ontario Police Department, which I documented, and the entity is engaging in what is criminal summoning. This is the pattern of conduct by the people of the state. Those that are engaging in what is criminal surveillance on a 24-hour basis, they also engage in a pattern of summoning the entity that's engaged in stalking you, flying around you, engaging in stalking in a circle for flying for like 22 minutes like the Ontario Police Department did, for like an hour like the Ontario Police Department did as well, for 47 minutes like the Los Angeles Police Department did, in a very specific environment, which is why they're going to federal prison. Psychological terror is a hallmark by the demons who are placing you under surveillance. And the Ontario Police Department are at the same time during daylight savings time at that venue of 215 East C Street, where there is no shared sky space, where there would be no sun over the venue, over the entrance of that area. That's not the sun, that's the specific environment. And that's also how you know that, because hours from 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 7.5, 8 hours later, the light source is still at that same address. This is the facilitating venue, and you're literally looking at the pattern of conduct that's underway while they being the Ontario Police are present during what is an act of criminal summoning. That's the pattern of conduct, the intent to obstruct justice, hostility by the demon-possessed population who are witnessing their exposure and their prosecution. The entity is engaging in that identical behavioral pattern here while they engage in what is such as flying in circles for 47 minutes. That's intended to threaten you. Opening up the doors of my apartment so I walk in and my apartment is exposed. That's intended to threaten your life, intended to threaten your safety while they're witnessing you expose and document them. And they're acting in conformity to the pattern of conduct. And the Ontario Police Department at the same time are under what is not possibly the sun at 215 East C Street, where here in 2024 during daylight savings time, the light source is over me while LAPD is engaged in the pattern of conduct in concert with the people in that specific environment, and the light source is hovering over me. There is no sun that's going to be over the Ovid Family Community Library entrance like you see on June 16, 2022, which is the pattern of conduct. So I want you to reference that, because that's what I'm reviewing while LAPD chooses to fly over by helicopter, flying directly over my office. Very specific targeting conduct, not flying over there anymore. And even when they're flying over there, it's amplification. That's how they supplement for that targeting conduct. They're flying right over my office. And when I was in my apartment, they were flying right over the office. Airplanes flying right, over my apartment, flying right over my apartment. And what else did you see right over my apartment? The light source. All right. And while the entity is keeping a light source over the Ovid Family Community Library between the hours of what is 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 p.m., there's no sun that's ever going to be here. And that's the ongoing analysis. It's impossible. It's the same thing with Starbucks, a third-party facilitating venue, where you will see all hallmarks present as well. This is the entity that's engaging in that criminal system, and Isela Hernandez and Roberto Aguilera, using their minor child to engage in what is the federal offense of crossing path in the engineered environment, acting in concert and facilitating the criminal system that the LAPD is engaging in, and that's why they're going to lose custody of that child, all of their children, and all the children here are going to be removed from custody, because that's the pattern of conduct. They've made them sex offenders, they've made them stalkers, and they've made them terrorists, because that's what the entity is engaging in. It's an act of psychological torture, by the way, while the demon-possessed population that's placing you under surveillance, the third parties, the people of the state, like to utilize children to engage in that P.O.C. All right, that's a tactic of engaging in what is psychological torture. It is currently 3:57 p.m. I want you to look at that video. I'm going to upload. There's a series of them. They're at the same time, 10:27 a.m., 10:29. And I was using more than one phone. It's all at the same exact time frame. And that video is prolonged. So it starts at 10:30 and it's carrying on. So in this video on June 16, 2022, the entity is keeping a stationary light source, because that's not the sun that's remaining there from approximately like 10:25 till 11 o'clock in the morning. But you're looking at it here over my head while LAPD is group stalking in a helicopter at 10:30 in the morning. And you're also looking at what the entity is doing. The rising of the sun is in alignment to my apartment at 6:48 in the morning, and it's in alignment to my apartment through my bedroom window after 6 p.m. in the evening. All right. So what is it that the Ontario Police Department are standing under? What I'm documenting on June 16th, and I will let you know. I will guarantee again, they will contend, which they have no basis to, and they don't have a hope under the light source. They have no hope whatsoever, because it's the specific environment. That's what they're under, and they're engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, and they're doing so in the highest threat is being posed, while the police are engaging in group stalking in your face, bearing weapons, engaging in criminal defamation, engaging in what are threats to exercise fictitious authority, threats to engage in what is. They actually did engage in fictitious authority. They're engaging in threats to engage in kidnapping. All right, the entity that's placing you under surveillance has no legitimacy. They don't have any probable cause. They don't have any facts or reasonable suspicion. None of that. They're keeping you under surveillance in concert with the people of the state that engage in acts of surveillance. All right, this is P.O.C. She's standing in engineer light, and you know that because at the same time, the entity is maintaining a light source at Starbucks at 706 West Hull Boulevard. There's no sun that's going to be visible through the window. There's no sunlight that's going to be aimed through a laundry room, and there's also no sunlight that's going to appear on the wall beside her and facing behind her as the entity surrounds that laundry room with engineer light. That's how you're understanding a demon, and that's an overaged one who is acting with impunity, and that's why she's going to federal prison. There will be no respecter of persons. It is currently 3:59 p.m. This is P.O.C.